My name is Margaret N. Windsor. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 41, brought to the USA, Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a deceased twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, and I married a Childers later. And both twins, Carl and Peggy, were dead. They were killed by their mother, who was unwed. And I was given that name and grew up with it, thinking that was me. I was told later that subconsciously I always knew my real name and who I am and about my kidnapping. I was only 2 years old, and I do remember vague things about my mom and dad, King Edward VIII and Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. My dad never married Wallace Simpson. That was a double. And became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. A 99-year seal was put on it. And so far, no one in this country, hardly any, and certainly Elizabeth has tried to cover it all up, and my life's hell. But I want to say this. I put this in some tapes prior, kind of documenting what was done to me. I was diagnosed by a Jew in Huntsville, Dr. Hyman, I want you to get this right, Miller. His wife was a German Jew. Am I allowed to say that? After all they've done to me and took my name? And what they did to my children? Just because of who we are, our names. Now, Hyman Miller I went to in 61, I believe. I'd had my sons, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me. Not Elizabeth, not Charles, not young George, they named after Elizabeth's father that helped kidnap me and illegally took down his own brother and put a 99-year seal on it. Anyway, I went to Hyman Miller, not knowing my real name or anything, any of this. He's in Huntsville, where NASA boomed. 40 miles from where they took me, a hostage. Wonder what all went into NASA and Redstone Arsenal, the command center. My hell. Okay, you got the German Jew. Lived in Jones Valley, lived a plush life. There were hardly any doctors at that time in Huntsville, and he was a psychiatrist. I went there because I was feeling slightly depressed. By the time I last saw that SOB, I had been given psychotic drugs over and over and over. I had been shocked, gone into his office at times on a bi-weekly basis, and he and his Jew anesthesiologist, Dr. Berg, and her husband was, Dr. Berg was a Jew. By the time they got through with me, they had a blast. So, my mom is the sister of American artist, Georgia O'Keeffe. And as far as I know, I could have made a living had I been allowed to from art because I'm pretty good at it, though it's natural. So I'll let that go. I wanted to zero in, though, because I remember in Huntsville where so much was done to me to shut this all up and drain the Brits and my family of everything they could get. I remember, I didn't know my aunt was Georgia O'Keeffe at the time, or I couldn't remember it anyway. So here you got this German Jew psychiatrist that's baking my brain. He's diagnosed me with a diagnosis that was so far wrong, it's sick, it was a diagnosis to kill me and allow what happened later. The psychotic drugs, all of this. I found out, and I had worked for doctors, nobody told me this, that I'm allergic to chemicals, and that's it. It makes my immune system attack itself, and that's not a simple thing. It really can tear down your liver and heart and your whole body if you're forced to inhale chemicals. Now, they talk about the Germans. Wouldn't it be nice if the cameras rolled on the United States and the Jews and whoever else got in, because I don't really think hostages are allies. Now, do you? So I go back to Hyman Miller. Uh, so the diagnosis was just a way to kill me, really, and torture me, and do it and make it look legit, as if anybody cared. I remember in the Huntsville Times, and I can't place the date. It was later. Um, Not back in that early time. It was a little later that the Roanoke Times did an article on the artwork of Dr. Miller's German wife, German GY. And she had all this artwork that she had been able to bring with her. Now then, I want to just show this. Now, I don't know. The artwork may have been brought legally. I don't know. I'm just throwing it in because I know what they did to me was sick. He's dead, she's dead. And Ms. Wiggins, I believe, I think that was her name, was the bookkeeper. And all these people knew what was going on, and it was okay with them. But in today's USA Today, and I want to quote this, let me show the picture first. Let's get a holder in here. So I've just shown you some of that, and the crimes that the United States has committed, and committing against me still, it's never stopped. I'm still where I live. I'm forced to inhale industrial chemicals. You can make your air conditioning a murder weapon, and the fact that the windows are sealed. It's only if this is shown to the world and get their reaction. Um, it's been hell, and it's been done with everybody's in plain sight. When I was running to the mountains to just have a place when I could get a tent to freeze and starve with all these lonely Roanoke people in Virginia and Alabama and Georgia where so much of this happened that wouldn't give me the time of day. Uh, so I would pull out where I was endorsed in Hustler in April of '84 to make them understand my jobs were shut down, and the only thing they would do is make fun of Larry Flint and tell me they didn't care, really. So there you go. So I don't know about the artwork about Hannah Miller, but I've told you that part, what was done to me, Margaret Ann Windsor, Victoria II, the legal heir, not this American queen. It's because God saved the queen. She's not the real one. She works for the Americans, and that was my father. And the double they used to marry Simpson. That was his brother George, Elizabeth's father. I showed with Roosevelt, the Kennedys. Joe Kennedy was ambassador, 36 to 46, planning my kidnapping in 41. And I showed you the Haysom murders that were done in April of '85 in Bedford County, and it was tried there. Jens was a diplomat's son, a German diplomat's son. Elizabeth is of British citizenship, Canadian, British, and so was her father. Her mother was American. Her mother and father were murdered. This was done in patterns. And I did want to say this before I go about this Germany defends itself on Nazi-era art. Down here it says the fact that this is a year and a half later, is as much an issue as the find itself. Ann Weber of the London-based Commission for Looted Art told USA Today there needs to be a transparency. The find was made public not by the German government, but by reporters for the German news magazine Focus. So you've got people up in arms, anything to do with Germany or the Brits. You go get them. I'm a human being. I have had everything in the book thrown at me, and I'm dying now. I'm 75 years old. And what I say to you Americans and anybody that defends what you've done in the cover-up is just nothing but cold-blooded killers. And I hope you deal with God, because there's no one else, believe me, can even come close to handing down a judgment. Now, you all think this is funny? This woman is supposed to represent the Church of England. She's a traitor, a kidnapper, a thief. Now, I want to turn this before I go to Eric Holder. They've had me begging for places to live. I'm the Monarch. What was stolen from me and done to me is so horrific. A diagnosis that was illegal drugs, shock, torture. And Holden is saying no Snowden, clemency. What if you turn that around? Let me say this. Mr. Holder, they put me and gassed me at Richfield Retirement at Elderly here in Roanoke and Edinburgh Square Village, and a black Moore-owned reverend from Washington, North Carolina. What they did to me, and I can't believe if you get some of these managers, the people that got in on it. I was gassed. My immune system attacked itself. Every moment of my life was hell. And my body, liver, kidneys, heart, my veins have just so broken from it all. Now then, no clemency for Snowden, because he told the truth, something you people can't do. You just can't do it.